5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
What's happening, everyone? Welcome to the penultimate Prem panel show. We've only got one more after this for the season. As you lot know, the season is nearly over. So it's going to be a tearjerker next week. Big up everyone in the chat. Big up everyone who's watching, who's waiting. Make sure you smash that like button. Please, people, subscribe if you're new. And we've got a couple of interesting topics today to discuss. I've got my boys Daps and Lee with me. What's going on, boys?
Listen, man, you know what's good? Not only is it the penultimate one of the season, but thank God we ain't here next season either, bro, because you lot got Europa League.
Look, we're working on a way of trying to fit this in somewhere, somehow, bro, but we'll see how it goes, innit?
Thank Jesus.
And I'm good. Listen, people, don't think I'm coming on here being arrogant or any of that, or trying to create a new personality. My eyes are just mash up from hay fever, and I don't want to make any of you sick, so I'll keep these on for now. But good to be here. And do you know what? Lee's smiling again, which is good. Season over, Lee. You can now hopefully reflect. The pain has gone, because I've just done a show with an Arsenal fan. It was annoying, to be frank with you. Some of the crap that them lot talk. Not you, Lee, by the way, but it's just like mental, the way this Arteta out agenda and all that crap. Like, now's the time to reflect in it and actually think, do you know what? We get it, all that, but it was a good season and all of that. Get rid of Arteta and all of that is just nonsense. But yeah, we are.
No. I mean, we'll get into that. But I mean, obviously, we've known Man United the champions for a week, so I just want to push that back.
Man City. Not Man United.
Did I say Man United?
Yeah, you did.
Oh, I'm trolling.
I can't allow that ever. Banter.
Yeah, so I'm just going to push that one back on the agenda a little bit. And I just want to talk about something at the beginning that I think has gone under the radar. And it's really, really upsetting that two of the members couldn't make. Obviously, Chelsea are playing, which is why Lewis isn't available. And George has a work commitment, so he didn't cop out or anything. He genuinely couldn't make today. But it's a shame that those two aren't here, because I just want to talk briefly first before we get into the other one, the meat of the bones. Chelsea and Tottenham. I'm sorry, guys. How have they just gone under the radar? How have they escaped through the season without anybody really saying anything and just accepting two of the most shocking league campaigns you will ever witness from a club that isn't expected to be relegated? Yeah. I think the only way you get a worse season out of a team is if they're a team who goes into the season with a 50% or higher rate of being relegated in that season. Yeah. Do you know what defines them both? Do
you know what defines them both? To be frank with you, and I tried my best to call them out, but it kind of fell on deaf ears. Was the night that we beat Arsenal at the Etihad, and I was watching shows afterwards, because sometimes if I'm not at a game, right? If I'm not at a game, I can't do shows. If I'm at home and watch a game, usually, and it's an important game, I'm so drained that I don't want to do streams. I just want to kind of relax, But I was watching other shows, and there was loads of shows with loads of, like, one or two Arsenal fans on, then loads of Tottenham and Chelsea fans cooking Arsenal, And to me, I took offence at that, because these are the two same fan bases that want to come at my club all the time, like, I want to call us cheats and do all of that, but then want to celebrate. And the one in particular, Chelsea, the one in particular was Chelsea, because that night that we beat Arsenal at the Etihad, Chelsea lost to Brentford, Brentford, their local rivals. And instead of worrying about that, they're more bothered about cooking Arsenal. And it's like Arsenal and Chelsea have almost tried to slip away from what they've done by focusing on Arsenal, when the fact is, the amount Chelsea, if City had spent that much money where Chelsea are, like, we have to be real. If the other teams, like, weren't facing tough games in the relegation battle about maybe 8 games ago. Chelsea really could have faced relegation. Really, really could have. Yeah, it's just
100%.
And as for Tottenham, if you think where Tottenham were at one point, you know, they'll say, oh, Arsenal drop off, whatever. Look at Tottenham's drop off. Tottenham may well not get any sort of European football, right? But they want to focus on other people. And this is the thing, you know what? Liverpool have come through strong. We knew they would, right? Arsenal have. Tottenham, for me, Tottenham can fully drop out of like European places for quite some time as well. That's the truth of the matter. That this really Chelsea, I think, will keep going, keep spending and whatever till they get it right. But Tottenham could really be in trouble, you know, really be in trouble.
No, I agree. I mean, we'll do one at a time and we'll save Tottenham for last because I know Lee's going to want to enjoy roasting Tottenham. Chelsea, they have spent roughly 800 million in the last 3 seasons.
For real? Chelsea, not Tottenham.
Yeah, Chelsea.
Right.
Chelsea have spent, I think it's just over 800 million in the last 3 seasons. Now, granted, 3 years ago, they did win a Champions League. But if you actually look at where they are now, based on the spending that they've done in the past, 36 months, whichever way you want to look at it, I mean, this has got to be the biggest joke in Premier League history, right? Like, it has to be the biggest joke in Premier League history. I'm looking at a Chelsea team who is literally losing week after week after week after week after week. The players look crap. The manager's crap. The owner looks like he doesn't know what he's doing. Like, I honestly, if this was any other club, I think the roasting would be so bad that it would actually.
I don't think they've taken any points off of any like top 6 or something like that. Literally, at one point, unless
only us, which is even more embarrassing. Right, okay. It shows how bad we've been this season.
Man. Don't worry, Tottenham do that to us, bro. It's fine. There's no embarrassment.
It's madness. So it's embarrassing we never beat them. I mean, Lee. Obviously, you're a rival of them, being from London, and you have more hatred for Chelsea probably than me and Daps do. I mean, talk to me, bruv. 800 million spent in 3 seasons, and this is the dross that we're watching.
Listen, man, I haven't done any streaming for a while. I've just obviously been away and stuff. So I did want to say, obviously, I feel that obviously I know you spoke about it the other day, but I feel so sorry for Vini Jr. You know, prayers out to him and obviously what's going on for him as well, because it's messed up, man. What's going on for that? And I know you guys spoke about it the other day anyway, so don't really need to reiterate too much.
First as well, Lee. Real talk.
Yeah. But I feel that obviously, prayers to him, man. That's sad what's going on over there for sure. But yeah, listen, man. Chelsea, bro. I don't know, bro. Like I said it, and I think it's because of the club they are, man. I don't think people care. If this was Arsenal, if this was Liverpool, if this was Man United, I think people would have a lot to say. Dare I say even Man City at this moment in time, because they've got Pep. I just think the way that Chelsea are getting away with it. And listen, I know we're going to talk about it later on, and I'm sure that at some point we're going to have a next week especially, we'll have a chat about it. But everybody's been over. I've been watching a lot of content. I ain't done any content, but I've been watching a lot of content. And, a lot of people in the last couple of weeks have been speaking, oh, next season, Arsenal ain't going to be here. Newcastle ain't going to be here. Liverpool are going to be the challengers. Everybody, this is the chat that everyone's been. Chelsea better win the league next season. Chelsea have spent how much money? No, but we can do this. We can do the laughing and joking, but Chelsea have spent how much money?
You're speaking facts, bro. That's what made me laugh.
They've got Lukaku coming back. They've got like 15 players out on loan who, Levi Colwell and all of these other players. They're getting Poch, who is this superior manager.
We get the best out of players.
There you go. And young players that per se. You also have to put into context as well. They have 1 game a week now. So the logic with them now is they have all these players they're going to get rid of. They've got quality for days, and they're going to have a manager that's going to hopefully put it all together. And then on top of everything, Chelsea do this. Chelsea have these weird seasons where they, they crumble, and then next season they rise up again and they go and win or do something crazy. So, and Nkunku,
that's a good shout. So
I even forgot. So for me, and look, you saw what Nkunku did against Bayern Munich only 7 days ago or 6 days ago, even so. So for me, everybody keeps talking about Man City and not Man City against Arsenal not going to be here and Liverpool going to be there. Why is it that Chelsea don't get the same ritual?
Bro, I think you spot on it. You were spot on with it, though. You were spot on with it. It's their fan base, bro. I'll say this. Right. Chelsea's fan base irritate the hell out of me. I'll be real with you. This season especially, yeah, because the minute they have problems with their manager, yeah, like I said, I get why their board wanted Potter and wanted to give him a long period because Chelsea have won everything, yeah. They've won everything in the last 15 years, right? But they've never really had a style of football. So as far as marketing them, you can't market them no more, right? Because their style of football is not that marketable. So I get why they're going with Potter and wanting to change stuff. But Chelsea's fan base aren't willing to give it long enough. All they want is instant success. Instant success. Don't care about the quality of football. And right now, I'll be honest with you, yeah, that I don't think it's going to work because of the players they're signing, right? Let's take Felix as a prime example. Felix has been there this season for half a season, yeah, and has witnessed, he's gone from being at Atletico, who won the league a couple of seasons ago, to being here. And apparently he's saying he wants to stay. Now, I'm sorry, yeah, but if that doesn't tell you, warning sign, don't sign this player. For me, what you want to sign for Chelsea after this season? That doesn't make sense to me. That's the type of player you avoid, right? And even Mudryk, why Mudryk chose Chelsea over Arsenal? Why? Why did you do that? They're not signing players that are believing in a project. They're signing players that the board are finessing, basically. And
listen, I'm telling you as well, Daps. Yeah, I tell you even Daps, even more. Chelsea have spent all this money, and you got fans like Lewis, who again, everybody knows Lewis is my guy, my bro. So I don't have to give any caveats. But Lewis is talking about, Felix is this and he's done so. Let's give him a chance, and Sterling, this and that. I gave him stats. I said the game against Wolves, I believe, he came on for 47 minutes or whatever it was, and he had 12 touches. Why is it that you're not giving these guys the stick that they deserve? Why is it that you're giving Enzo, even now? Listen, again, I understand you come to, but I don't know if anybody in the chat, any of you two can tell me what he actually does. I've watched I watched 60 minutes of him today, and he looked dross. He looked like McTominay doing, running around like a headless chicken. And I know, yes, you need a manager to put in implement things, and yeah, there's Frank Lampard tax and stuff, but you can't keep moving the needle. Sometimes a player just needs to show what they are, what they can do, and everything else kind of falls into place around them sometimes. And I think for me, I'm just looking at players like Mudryk right now, and I'm looking at players like Enzo right now, and I'm looking at players like Sterling right now. These guys need to take accountability because, as I said, Chelsea, what do we know them as? When they had, proper leaders in their team, the season when Michael Ballack and when they got to the Champions League final, when they got to the Champions semi-final, John Terry, they were getting rid of managers. They got rid of Carlo Ancelotti. Yeah. They got rid of the only guy they really wanted was Hiddink, and he didn't want to stay. They got rid of all these managers, and what did they do? They carried on and they got forward. They got rid of Mourinho twice. These players got rid of Mourinho twice. These same players, and they.
Do you know what? You're spot on because. I mean, and when we're talking about players being given time, like, do you know what? So if now the season's pretty much over, we can talk about things, the rivalry to one side and whatever. Like, for me, Darwin Núñez, I personally think was a victim of the fact that he was bought at the same time as Erling Haaland, right? Now, whatever fan base created that, whether it be Liverpool fans talking him up or whatever, like. If you look at Darwin Núñez,
it was just the not Carrow Cup in the Community Shield.
And Mont.
Take that to the blood clot!
But it is what it is. That's rivalry, But the fact is, like, if you were to actually...
He scored the winning goal in the game against Man City, bro, for that moment.
Here's the thing. But then off the back of that, after that, you know what? For a first season and his age, he hasn't had that bad a season, right? It's just, unfortunately for him, he was being compared to Erling Haaland, right? Now, just as a prime example, Kai Havertz,
Oh my
I
God,
get.
Felix was good.
As he really? Oh, Hold on.
Yeah,
Allow it.
bloody
Kai,
hell.
but Kai Havertz, right? Yes, he scored a very important goal against Manchester City, right? But let's be real. Mount put it on a plate for him, right? Mount put him through. That wasn't, and since then, Havertz has done, and we still get this. Oh no, he needs time and all that. No, he doesn't. Havertz has been given longer than I can ever imagine any player has been given to land in this league.
80 mil, by the way, Daps, they paid for
Yeah,
Havertz.
but for me, do you know how frustrating this is? The amount they spend, right? And I remember in January when they started spending all their money, and Matisse, Younes, all of them, Lewis, were all celebrating how much money they're back, how much money they're spending, all of that. And to me, it was frustrating because ultimately they managed to spend money because their owner found a loophole, right? That's it. Yeah. He found a loophole and shouted about it in the American style. He shouted about a loophole. And I remember saying to Younes on the stream a few weeks later when the allegations came out against us, I said, now our owners are probably a bit smarter, that they will probably also find a loophole and they will probably bust case based on loopholes. Right. So does that make it morally correct now? And they were like, no. I go, okay, but it's the same thing that you lot screaming and shouting about it. But the difference is, we're getting success from it at the moment. What they're doing is just, and it just, to me, it shows where the right owner with the right structure, because at the moment, their owner is just literally buying whatever. I wouldn't be surprised if, Neymar's being linked with United at the moment and probably other clubs. I have no doubt that Chelsea will probably come in for him last minute and try and get him, just because
They're
Bowley
that
just,
kind of club.
he just can't. He can't hold himself back. He can't hold himself back, and that's why I think Poch will probably end up failing, because I think it won't work, because I think Poch will lose his head with him.
Yeah, I mean, and if we look at the scenario that Chelsea are in right now, I know they have found a loophole with the situation, but you got to remember what it does is it means that year that you're paying off those fees, it will still come out of your budget. So if FFP is a real thing, effectively you are still affecting your club, because it doesn't just affect now. You can laugh and go, oh, we found a loophole. We're going to pay X amount for this many years. But it's like, okay, but then that means that for that many years, you always start with a deficit at the beginning of that year of minus 50, 60, whatever it is, because you're paying still for what you did 5 or 6 years ago. Do you get what I mean? So it's like, technically, they might have screwed up their future and their present. Like, it might not just be now and then they can fix it. It might also be their future that's a bit screwed up.
And
I mean,
let me.
No, go on.
No, I was going to say, I genuinely do think, and again, this isn't me putting the pressure on them. I actually do think they will have a good season next season. I think Chelsea, with a proper coach and 1 game a week, can do some bits. My only thing is, I don't understand why, Lewis and Matisse and all these other people, it's only this whole, I won a top 4 challenge and win a cup. No.
Yeah.
No. You need to be challenging or winning the league, in my opinion. Yes, you're 12th, but this is a false position for a team like Chelsea. They've given up, since January. So when you actually get the players firing and working and playing, they need to be in a position where when it gets to next April, they're thereabouts, because ultimately,
especially without Europe,
they have no excuse. This is the history of Chelsea, by the way. When you talk about heritage, this is their 20-year heritage. They sack their managers they don't want, and they get in the new players, and they get in the new managers who they do want, and they still keep winning. They still keep grinding it out. So for me, I can't say anything other than Chelsea. They've got the finances. They've got the players. They're all quite young. They're going to ship out the players that they don't need. They're still going to have these relative, and that's another thing. They've already spent, what did you say, Drifty, 800 million in how many seasons? And they still want to spend another 300 million. They still want another keeper. They want another
another keeper.
Right. They want to ship out the 2 keepers they want. They want another keeper. They want another right back. They want another striker because they can't score goals. They want another winger, and they need 2 centre mids because Kopish is going and Kante's always injured.
And Mount might be going as well. And the other thing is, though, as well with that,
it's crazy.
The other thing. the other thing is with that, and this is a problem that they'll probably have next season, is that the players you've just listed, they need. By the way, I started this season just before the first transfer window saying on paper, if you actually sat at that point and looked at Chelsea's defence, on paper, they had possibly the best defence in the league, balance-wise. Think about the players they brought, the players they had in, with their Chilwell, Cucurella on the left. They had Thiago Silva, the Leicester guy they bought,
Fofana,
Koulibaly. Then on the left, Aspilicueta and Reece James. The balance that between age, experience, pace, everything, yeah. But I think the problem they've got is you've just listed what they probably need, Lee. But I don't think Bowley is able to do a shopping list. Like if you give him, go to the shop and get me bread, milk, and eggs, he's going to come back with like a bottle of champagne, some caviar, and something else expensive.
and a scooter.
And that's what's good. Yeah, exactly. It's like when you go Costco thinking you're going to save money, end up buying stuff you don't need. Yeah, that he's going to do that. They'll end up with other things they don't need. It won't make sense. But you ultimately, the whole thing of this that you started off with is the way they get away with it. And you're spot on. That if it was Liverpool, because I remember at one point this season actually saying Chelsea have been bad this season, but that if we're going by drop-offs, Liverpool's drop-off is worse because you were in for all 4 competitions this season. Now, that is when you were at your worst, Drifty. But Liverpool have done what we kind of knew would happen, and they bounced back and ended up just falling short, but only just falling short. It hasn't been a good season for Liverpool, agreed, but everyone's documented it ain't been a good season for Liverpool. Arsenal have had a good season, but it's been documented it's now a bad season. United. But yeah, I mean, Chelsea, it's mad. It's mad. When you look at people who still say they're the most successful team in the Premier League in the last 15 years. Crazy. Man United just won 4-1 as well against Chelsea.
Yeah,
and the last game, Newcastle, right?
That shows you just how bad Chelsea are to get hammered.
By a team that can't score goals.
This Man United team who's only been getting 1 goal in the... I think Wolves is the only time they've scored more than 1 goal in the last 7 games or something like that. Yeah. And then you let them pipe you like that. I mean, this Chelsea... And I mean, I kind of agree with Lee that if you look at the manager they're getting and the players they've got, they should be able to bounce back next season.
They've got another right back coming in as well, haven't they? They've got a banging right back coming in the summer.
I don't know. Well. They've got a lot of shit coming, bro. It's like, like when you forget what you've ordered because you're so rich, you just online order stuff. Yeah, the doorbell goes and you can't even remember what you've ordered. That's what Chelsea's like. But in terms of like the way things are going with Chelsea, just quickly, guys, and you're looking at the scenario. Is it, and I throw Spurs into this as well, is it maybe the fan base? Is it because they have not necessarily a smaller fan base? I mean, Tottenham do have a smaller fan base. Maybe a more quiet fan base, maybe. Is maybe the reason why an Arsenal, a Liverpool, and a Man United would get a lot more heat for this because the fan base is a lot bigger, a lot stronger, a lot more vocal. Do you think that's probably got something to do with it? Because I'm still trying to figure out how Chelsea and Tottenham have got away with being this bad. And nobody's really saying anything.
I do think, and again, like this is what I'm gonna say is it's actually no shade on City, but I spoke about even the treble that they're gonna possibly win, which I believe they will. And I said, unfortunately, I don't think as many people will be as bothered if Man City win. And it's not to take away the achievement, it's an amazing, great achievement. But I just think at this moment in time, it's a bigger achievement than what Man United are doing, but it won't hold the same weight right now because of who Man City are. And I think, unfortunately for them, also this whole, allegations thing, people are going to hold these things against them until everything's died over. Do I think it's fair? I don't actually really care right now. Like, it's not my
Neither
club.
do I, by the way. Neither do I.
But my thing is more when you think about, especially Tottenham, and I think that's fair to say, they aren't this huge conglomerate of a club. They've got a huge stadium, but they haven't got a huge fan base. So it's almost like everybody here knows, oh, it's only Tottenham. That is literally, that is Spurs. And this is why Arsenal fans took such offense to Spurs when they said, oh, the North London battled, they're now the North London club. And I'm like, hold on a second. You've been above us for 7 years, fine. We've done it 21 years, 20 years. And you're like, oh, you ain't won nothing. We won the league at your stadium twice, not once, twice. And it's almost like this is where like the whole Spurs thing, no one really cares. But with Chelsea, I just think that they, again, like whether they're kind of getting away with it right now. This is what we need to make sure they don't get away with it. We need to put the pressure on them, and this is why I'm tipping them to win the league next season. I am, because
do you know what
they should be
on their fan base, right? So, bit of a history lesson, real quick one, because I've come to realize now that when people say City didn't win trophies before money, I've realized now some people actually do believe that. Yeah, Matisse the other day was trying to tell me, before money we were still bigger than you, and I was kind of saying, look, respectfully, bro, your stadium holds 40k, and at the moment sometimes you're not feeling that. We were getting 35,000 average in the third tier of English football, right? So as a core fan base before the money, City, and also on trophies, before the money, 2003, Chelsea got bought out. We got bought out in 2008. Before 2003, City had won 9 what we call proper trophies. So I'm meaning like a domestic cup, domestic league, or European trophy, right? We've done a European Cup and a FA Cup double. We've done 2 leagues. Chelsea had done 6, right? So Chelsea aren't no bigger than Manchester City. They're not, right? And it does worry me when I look at Chelsea a little bit with how their fan base is, because it's very divided. You've got your old school Chelsea lot, then you've got your new Chelsea lot, which a lot is online. A lot is not based in this country. And they have these wars over players where ultimately anyone abroad don't like, Mount is only liked because he's English, and all the English lot. And it's the exact way I never want my football club to go. Even with, with ticket allocations, it's sad when I see that fans that have been going for years and go week in, week out, can't get FA Cup final tickets, can't get Champions League semi-final tickets. But then you see a load of tourists in the ground. Now, I'm all for us growing. We all have to grow as a club, yeah? But I find things like that. And I think when I look at Chelsea, they've just, I feel, got success and serious success way too quickly, and also without foundations. And when I say foundations, like the Champions League, this season, if we win the Champions League, we've won the Champions League by beating Bayern, by doing a three-peat, by beating Bayern, beating Real Madrid, and no one can say we fluked that. But prime example, Chelsea's last Champions League, I think they finished 3rd or 4th in the league, right? I think, and they just they've been a cup team, and I just think the fan base is very like too cool because they didn't like Potter. Some of them started supporting Bayern Munich, right? And I'm just like, I don't get that. Why are you?
But you know what, though, as well, right? Again, I ain't even gonna let Drifty get away with this, because you're part of the problem as well. You know why? You're the same guy that's out here. Oh, there's a discussion between Chelsea and Arsenal. Who's the bigger club now? This is what we do. This is why when we get to the
I still believe that's true if you take the fan base out, though, Lee. If you take away the fan base, I still believe that's true, because
this is my whole
you
point.
kind of have to look at their trophy haul, bro.
This is my whole point, right?
Yeah.
If you're going off 20 years of real sustained success, okay, fine, they've won 4 European trophies compared to what Arsenal have done over the longevity of footballing cycle life. It's conversations like that which shouldn't be happening, which is why, when it comes down to it, that shouldn't be a discussion, which then is why probably no one cares, because when it comes down to it, Chelsea aren't the relevant team that people make out. Yes, they've had 20 years of fantastic things, that they've won, untold amounts of leagues, everything, but there's something that goes with a big club. There's something that goes with pedigree. There's something that goes with longevity. There's something that goes with the idea of Arsenal being that club. And yes, you can laugh at us, we haven't got a European trophy to name, whatever, fine, but of relevance anyway. But when it comes down to it, the reason why, going back to your question, is because it's Chelsea, and it's almost like this is the real Chelsea. What is happening now They were saved or bought by from the previous owner for £1. People were begging to save Chelsea. This is the Chelsea that we know. You got to think Tottenham ain't won the league. Think about what I'm about to say to you. Tottenham haven't won a league title, football league title since 1961. 1961. What are we doing here? This is my whole point. This is like, what are we doing here? Come on, guys.
Do you know what? On the Tottenham one, that's true, because earlier on Talk Sport, they were talking about leaving the manager and the fact that manager's turned him down and whatever. And on Talk Sport, they were saying, I think a Tottenham fan rang in or something to talk about leaving. They were saying to him, we don't get it, because you're a big club. If you were to go up for sale, someone else massive would come in and buy you. And I sat there and thought about it and thought, hold on a second, because their stadium, for example, hasn't got naming rights still at the moment, yeah. And that will be because Levy, yeah, will expect Tottenham to get naming rights that are the amount you would expect Liverpool, Man United, Arsenal. I'm going to throw City in there based on right now City are very relevant, yeah? I'm not saying we're as big as Liverpool, Arsenal or Man United, but right now we could probably demand a lot of money because we are a talking point, yeah? But with Tottenham, I thought about it and thought, you know what? There'll be a lot of companies that don't want to be associated with Tottenham, yeah? Because they'll be like, hold on, tell us about this club. And the truth is, they'll be like, what have they won and all of that? And it's
delusions of grandeur, innit?
Bro,
that's what Levy.
You know what it's? Fake it till you make it. Fake it till you make it. Yeah. And Levy has done a sensational job. Like I always said, remember when Super League came round and everyone was against it? Tottenham fans weren't. And I said, that's because you lot are gassed that you've been invited to the party. You're confused in your head why you're there. Like, what have you done to be invited to this party? And look,
it is crazy. It is. I mean, Lee, just on what you were saying about the 20-year thing, the only reason why I'll say there is some relevance to it is because as much as Man United did have some pedigree and some history before Fergie took over, of course they had Busby, they had won the Champions League before, and whatnot. So they did have pedigree, but they were only sitting on 7 titles, bro. And Fergie in 20 years made Man United the biggest club in the world. So I do think 2 decades can change things around and become your history, because literally Fergie did it. Do you know what I mean? In comparison to Liverpool, Man United were nothing until Fergie did those 20 odd years of dominance. Do you get what I mean? So I do believe within 2 decades you can turn it around, and that's why I kind of give Chelsea that over Arsenal.
You're right, but this is Arsenal, who, yes, we've gone sustained period of time without winning the league, but so did Man United, and they weren't. That's my whole point. Like, there's an argument who's the bigger club now between Man United and Liverpool, because you're both big right clubs in your own right, and even before the 20 years of Man United not winning anything, they were still a big club before, and it was almost a bit strange that they hadn't won anything. It's the same like Arsenal. It is exactly the same. We hold, we're a founding member of this league. It's never going to go away. That is there. We've never been relegated. We've never ever been relegated. We've got that with us, and it's never going to go. Whether Arsenal haven't won the European trophy, and it's almost like what? So once we win one, then we go above them. Is that what people? And again, not you, but is that what people are saying? When we win one European trophy, the Europa League or the Champions League, then we go above them because we've got that European pedigree. Come on, man. That doesn't make any sense, bro. Like, when it comes down to it, it's almost like it's Arsenal here we're talking about. We're not talking about liquidating. We're talking about Arsenal, bro. So that's
I got asked this question. I got asked this question earlier on an Arsenal channel. If City win the Champions League, are they bigger than Arsenal? And I straight away go, no. Like, define big. If you're meaning big as size, no. Like, the only way City get bigger than Arsenal, yeah, is difficult because it's a whole. Ultimately, when people say bigger, they're meaning fan base, yeah, they're meaning all of that stuff. You can win 1 million trophies, doesn't mean your fan base all of a sudden shoots up over someone else's. If we're talking size, yeah, like prime example is Italy. If you look at multiple teams in the Italian league, yeah, who have had quiet periods for a very long time, they're still European. Traditionally known as European juggernauts, because as a club, like for me personally, I always say this: if people say you'll never be a big club, I'm not mad at that. Like, me personally, why would I be mad at being called a small club? It is who you are, isn't it? Like,
You
We
will
can't.
be in about 15 years. The
Oh,
youngsters
I
have
know
to
that,
grow
bro.
up.
But I
Because if
also
you look
see
at a
the
lot of the
bad
Chelsea
things that
fans
come
now,
with that, bro. I see the bad things that come with like
no,
getting tickets harder and all of that.
but you have to deal with that, though, bro. If you want to
Yeah.
get to the elite table, do you know what I mean? You're gonna have to deal with
But why
like
would I
what
want to? I
Chelsea
want to
went
win
through.
trophies. I don't care about whether people judge me as a big or small club. I want to win trophies. I want to have big nights and
No,
I want to
yeah,
have
yeah,
good
no,
days out.
that is fair enough. Because of your owners, maybe it's not as big of a deal. But traditionally, you needed your club to be a certain
Yeah,
size
maybe
to
that's what
be
it
able
is.
to
Yeah, tradition.
financially.
Yeah,
Do you
yeah,
get
yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
the
yeah,
only
yeah.
reason why Man United are as big as they are is because of the fan base. Because if
That's
you
a fair
took away the
point. Yeah,
fan
yeah.
base, their owners don't actually care and put money in. They take money out.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So if you
That's a good
take away
point, you
their
know.
fan
Yeah.
base, do you get what I mean? Then they wouldn't be able to be a big club. So because of your owners, you'll probably be all right in that sense. But generally speaking, I think that's more why you needed that like worldwide pool. But you'll
Yeah.
get there. Chelsea fans now are in their late 20s, early 30s because when Chelsea got taken over, they were children.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
City fans, it's the same. You lot have got a lot of kids that in the last 10 years or so would have think. So in another 10, 15 years, when they're all like in their 20s and they got more of a voice, City's fan base will be as big as Chelsea's, if not bigger. Do you get what I mean?
Hopefully
Because all of them
obnoxious, so.
I mean, let's move. We're gonna cook them guys again at some point as well over the summer. They're not getting away with it. But let's get on to the meat of the bones now. And I think Tottenham did escape one there as well, but I don't want to spend too much time on it. Congratulations, Daps.
Thank you.
2022-23 champions. Commiserations, Lee, for putting up a valiant fight, but in the end, actually looking like it wasn't even a title race. So I just want to start there quickly. What are we saying, guys? Are we going to look at the memories of the season? Are we going to look at it across the whole thing? Are we going to pay the respect to Arsenal that they actually do deserve? Or are we going to go down the banter route and say, look, if you finish 10, maybe 13 points off, depending on what mood Arsenal are in on their last day of the season. If you look at the points table at the end, what kind of title race does it look like now? Which way are we going to spin this?
Look, for me, Lee, remember when I said 12 points and we'll catch up?
Yep.
It was only 8 points, but if you work out the difference now that we've made, I think we've made up something like 15 points.
It's an 18-point swing, which is crazy.
Yeah, it is. It is. I think Arsenal have been. Look, they've had an amazing season for me. As long as there's not Arsenal fans talking absolute crap, yeah, they've had a good season for me. They've just shown inexperience, and I think lack. I've been saying this, lack of experienced title-winning players, and I only mean one or two. Like if they have one or two players in maybe their midfield that won a Premier League before and could Gundogan, I get why they're after Gundogan. That exact mold, someone that can calm everyone down, just take every game as it comes, all season long. Calm down players like this because they've got the passion, yeah. But sometimes passion needs to be brought down a little bit and whatever. But look, this season for me is all about Pep. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like everyone will say Haaland and all of that, but at times Haaland meant we didn't have control in midfield. Then when we were pushing defenders up into midfield, it meant that we looked sloppy at the back. Pep worked out within the right time scale, the right way to play. And for me, it just shows Pep's been unreal this season, really has been. As for Arsenal,
unreal for 5 years, bro.
Yeah, but this season was you have to remember there was points this season where we looked really, really bad. Like really bad.
Yeah. Guys, I was going to say, I think his most impressive season was your Centurion year, if I'm being honest. That was the year that I think was his most, like, flawless kind of... Because you weren't expected to win Champions League at that early stage. That was 5 years ago. I don't really think he was expected
I wish you'd tell people
it.
then they thought we would, but yeah. Look, I hear you. I think I've been asked recently which team, the Centurions or this season. I said... It's going to be hard. Like me personally, I love that Centurions team. But if we do get it over the line with the FA Cup and the Champions League, it would be difficult to not say this season. I'd say that team was maybe a bit more exciting to watch. This season, we've just looked more like, and the business end of the season, we've just looked more professional. Like it's almost like Pep said in some games, we don't need as much possession. Do you know what? Sometimes calm down. Yeah, it's been a mad
played a
season,
little
man.
bit more. You've played a little bit more rock and roll Liverpoolish football, where like you've made it a bit more rough and aggressive, and you know, because that's
Yeah.
usually what we do. We're aggressive, we're rough, we get in your face, and you lot were the pretty boys. You lot used to just have the, but you've kind of come away from that a little bit now, and now
And
you
that's been
rough
so
people
important in
up.
the
And,
Champions League. Do you know what? I actually
Mm.
think, yeah. So I started at the start of the season. I said, look, with Haaland playing, we now don't have the false nine. We have a number 9. So we're losing someone in midfield. So what Pep's going to do is going to invert someone and try and get that dominance in midfield by having a fullback playing up there, right? And that's what he's done ultimately, yeah. But at first he was trying it with Cancelo and it wasn't really working. Now, I think Pep was doing all of that to make the midfield more dominant. But I think by doing that, when he stumbled across John Stones doing it, he, by mistake, I honestly think by mistake, made our defense better as well. Because instead of it being a fullback, he's gone and got someone that is good defensively, because Cancelo wasn't, in John Stones, to play the midfield role. So when we're going forward, we've got someone that's good going forward. But all of a sudden, when people attack us, we've got 4 centre-backs at the back. And I think he stumbled across that slightly, and that's been the key. I don't know, I haven't seen anything today, but John Stones came off yesterday with a bit of a, looked like his hamstring was pulling. That could be massive in the Champions League final, because he's been huge for us. Been a mad season. All I can say is maddest season. At some points this season, I've felt lower than low about my club. And then now it's like, where's this come from? So,
I mean, Lee, I know obviously, you know, we've pushed you a lot and you've taken it. You've got strong shoulders, bro. I respect it. Last bit of shade I'm gonna throw at you is Daps. Thank you for correcting the universe, because it felt very out. I thought we were going back into lockdown or something. It's like Arsenal winning the league out of nowhere. What is this? Like, so I feel like the world's been corrected. But on a serious note, Lee, is it a good season? Here's the thing, and again, I don't like to keep saying this to Arsenal fans, but I just have to the ones that used to find it funny. This is what we felt like on multiple occasions, where you just have this belief and faith and hope that you can get it over the line, and City just end up being too much. And then you go from what was an amazing season, or what felt like an amazing season, to just all of a sudden feeling like, yeah, what was that all about? Now, the only thing that we had to back us up in 17-18 was that we won the champion, 18-19, is that we won the Champions League after the disappointment of losing out to City. So that gave us that boost. Do you get what I mean? And last season, what was horrible was the way we ended up. But there were still 2 trophies that we'd had to celebrate, which still kind of felt like the season was worth something. What's it feeling like right now, Lee, on the Arsenal side, with there being nothing to show for it? Are you going into next season with momentum? Do you think the disappointment's going to drag you back down to where you were? Like, what's the mood like, bro?
Listen, a month ago, I was on this very channel. Daps, Kaz, they said I gave up too early. I gave up too soon. And I was, listen, I said, I knew this was going to happen, and I said it. So, you know, everybody else was forcing me to say that we're still in a title race that I knew we were out of. So I kind of, I saw this anyway, but I know why Daps was saying it. I know why you're saying, because you never know, but I knew. So no one can take that away from me. I was very adamant. You guys were pushing me to say it, not me. So, I mean, look, ultimately, it's been a good season. There's been some real highlights, and then there's been some real points where it's almost just felt like same old Arsenal. And unfortunately, it does feel a bit wasted. Now, look, we don't know how Liverpool feel, because ultimately we haven't taken it down to the last point. So we can't say that we know how Liverpool feel. And you know, the issue that I've got with, you know, Arsenal, and it's so weird, because this is where like a lot of people need to start growing up, because they don't know how to be objective. I don't want Arteta out. I love every single one of my players, down to El Nene. I love all Arsenal players. If you played, you didn't play. I love Fabio Vieira, and he's been crap this season. You know why? Because I support Arsenal and I love Arsenal. But I'm also going to say this was an almighty crumble, one of the worst I think we will ever see. And the reason why is because nobody's going to give me any chance to change my mind on this. Arsenal have fully bottled the league because Man City didn't make us lose the league. It wasn't the fact that we lost to Man City that we lost the league. We lost the league because we couldn't beat Liverpool. Now, can I give a bit of context? We were 2-0 up, and Liverpool, you were crap. You were actually crap at that moment in time. This was before Jones was playing out of his skin.
We were terrible.
You weren't, but no, even before that, you weren't playing well. And we went into it saying we had to win the game, and we couldn't do it. And you look at every other team this season, Brighton, Newcastle, Crystal Palace to some point. Every team that's had an opportunity to do something special, they've done it. Brentford, we're the only team that haven't taken our opportunities. We're the only team that haven't taken Napoli, Borussia Dortmund. Every team that you look over the season in every country, they've taken an opportunity to do something special. We haven't. So we can't talk that we're on the same level where we don't have the same experience that Liverpool had against Man City. And ultimately, you can't talk about Arsenal any other way than other saying we crumbled, because Man City didn't make us drop points against Liverpool. Man City didn't make us drop points against West Ham because we were 2-0 up in both games. No, Man City didn't make us go to Southampton and, go 3-1 down against a team that were. What happens? You know what? It's special. I think it was 8 or 9 games. If you look at Southampton's games, they've lost every single one of them. Knock. Dr. Arsenal comes along and hands them a point. That's what we did. So ultimately, we can't keep saying that Arsenal are on the same level with Liverpool, because we're not, because we didn't have the same experience, because we've got 81 points and they've got 88 points, I believe it is. So ultimately,
who's City? I think we got 89 now.
Or 89, whatever it is. So
Or
ultimately,
90. It's 90, is it not?
It's not. It might be 90 up. But do you know what?
I'm sure it's 90.
No, it's 89. It's
What-
89. It's 89.
Yeah, 89, because you got a draw yesterday.
It would have
ultimately,
been. Yeah, it would have been 91.
Yeah,
Oh,
it
yeah,
would've been 10, it
sorry,
would've
yeah.
been-
I was assuming
ultimately-
you'd beat Brighton. So.
yeah. No, ultimately, look, like, it's been a fantastic season. Saka, all of these players have, grown up a level, but you also have to give a bit of reprieve and say, look, these players are 21, 22, 23, and they're VO2 max. They aren't men yet, so they can't last a season. Physically, I think Saka's played 67 games in a row, or 76 games in a row. It's crazy. And the reason why, yes, it's partly the manager, but also we don't have anybody else to come on and make a difference. So listen, I'm not gonna give any excuses. I've said we bottled it. I'm not going to be Laurie. I'm not going to be Robbie. I'm not going to be Ty. I'm not going to be Julian and try and defend the team in any way, because they don't deserve the defending. Because I came on this show and I said Saka's world class. And if we had won the league, these players wouldn't have had any excuses, because they would have won it. So I'm now not going to say, because they've bottled 8 games and we've only won 2 in 8 games, that they get a chance to, put that to the side. No. I'm going to hold them to the same standard. I'm going to hold Saka to a standard where he's on 300k. I'm going to do the same thing I did to Mo Salah. If you're earning 300k, you're meant to be the star guy. So when you're playing shit, Mo Salah, I'm sorry, even if you get a goal and I see the performances that you're doing, it ain't good enough, because you're meant to be the guy to get your team over the top.
Is that how much Saka's new deal is worth, Lee?
No, he's not on
weird,
300k.
bro.
He's
It
not.
depends.
He's on 200k.
It's weird, man.
300k with bonuses. So let's just put that out there. He's not, and I can tell you for sure he's not.
Well,
but listen,
I mean, technically,
they say
300 though, but yeah.
Well, no, it's not. It's technically 200k. You have to earn that. But look, anyway, look. There's a famous saying: nobody cares about the truth because the lie is more entertaining. So if you want to run with 300k, by all means, whatever he's on.
I just mean if
care.
he keeps, I'm guessing it's like win bonus, score bonus. So if he's playing well, then he's gonna be earning 300 grand. That's what I mean.
If he's playing well, he's worth it. By the way,
there you go. That was just about to say. I genuinely don't care about how much he's getting paid, because he's now getting what I believe he deserves. As an Arsenal fan, I've seen this guy being playing at 17, carrying this team. Him and Aubameyang. Why did he not deserve? I don't care what anyone else thinks. He deserves that money. And why does no one put London waiting into things? I work in London.
Wow,
I work and I get paid more than anybody else. Why does no one else think about these things though? Like, why does no context come into these things?
Well, the other context with Saka, bro. The other context with Saka is, like, let's be real, Saka, away from,
he's a star boy.
I'm going to use the term star boy. Yeah, ultimately the shirt sales, all of that, the commercial side of things, and the truth of the matter is, giving someone his age a wage like that is on the wage structure, yeah. If you don't take into everything into consideration, it's risky because in 4 years' time, he's going to need a pay rise, right? However, and then other players are going to want a pay rise. But the truth of the matter is, yeah, when Arsenal sit down with all of the players, they will go through the finances and they will explain the reason why Saka's on more than you is because this is what he generates the football club, yeah? You respectfully don't generate the football club this money. And ultimately, if they didn't give him what he wants and he left, yeah, how are they going to sell this project to anyone? This project that they want to go on, how can they sell it? If they've let their golden boy leave, yeah, and also their golden boy that actually, without him this season and last season, where would Arsenal have finished? If they let him go, they might as well allow it. That's like Levy getting rid of Jose before a cup final. You're basically saying to everyone, we've got no ambition.
I agree with that, Daps. And I don't by any means think that Saka will fall into this bracket, Lee. I don't. I'm just saying that was what Arsenal's thinking was with Ozil and Aubameyang, though. And I don't think Saka will go down that road. But that was the thinking when they did this with those two players. Do you get what I mean?
The issue with those two players is because we were begging them because we had nobody else. Ozil didn't really deserve 300k. Aubameyang didn't. Okay, fine. Maybe actually I'll take that.
Aubameyang did. Aubameyang deserved it.
He did,
yeah,
but
it
was just once he got the money, he then just dropped off, and that's something which you can't foretell. You can't foretell doing that.
Yeah,
you know. But I just think when the guy won us the FA Cup by himself, going through Man City, going through Sheffield United, going through Chelsea. So I don't know what more. Like,
he's young and hungry. He's young and hungry.
I've got no
They're
issue.
not young
I've got
and hungry.
no issue.
That's
I've got no issue with Saka getting that money. I just think, look, I now need to hold you to the same standards. And look, people are saying, "Oh, why didn't I have this context for Mo Salah?" This is how I know people don't listen. This is why, like, a basic form of communication, is listening and speaking. When have I ever mentioned anything about Mo Salah getting the money? I'm happy he get the money. My thing is that Liverpool fans don't give him any, don't give him any real accountability when he's not playing well because he's done it for. No, if he's meant to be the star man, the guy to win you games, and he's playing poor for 18 months. Why am I not allowed to criticize him? Why am I not allowed to ask for more? Why am I not allowed to say, hold on a second, Mo Salah, you asked for this contract. Mo Salah, you called out Real Madrid. You can't drop a disaster clause like that when you called out Real Madrid before the game. No one asked you to do that, Mo Salah. So this is why people don't listen. I've never ever said Mo Salah doesn't deserve the money ever. I called him out because he called out Real Madrid before the Champions League final and he dropped a disaster clause, which is why is it that is a problem? Why is that a problem? Why is it a problem that I can call out Mo Salah and say, hold on?
Do you want to know why it's a problem?
The same thing I'm going to do for Saka. I'm holding him to this because you
can't. We'll make sure. We'll make sure you do.
That's the key, though. That is the key. Yeah,
we'll make sure you do.
I've said it. But hold on. Can I remember? Guys, can you please go and check the streams? I've been calling out Saka for the last 9 weeks because he's not been playing well. So when I'm giving him the praise, I can't then just go into hiding and say, oh well, no, like Saka, I can't say this and say that about you because you've been doing it for because in the crunch moments, I need you. Saka, can you wake up, please? Saka, can you rise up a level, please? Saka, can you stop looking like I don't know, like you don't even know what day it is, Saka. Please, can you do something? Saka's been playing like that week between Christmas and New Year's Eve and you don't know what day it is. That's what he's been moving like to me personally. He just looks like he's lost. Yeah, fine. He's, continually played whatever. But listen, man, ultimately, Arsenal, going back to what you're talking about, Arsenal, I think, have had a great season. The manager's done some really, really good things. And the thing I love about him more than anything is he learns from his mistakes. And I'm hoping that he moves on with it and he learns some more mistakes because we're going to need it next season. Next season is going to be an absolute drag. I think it's going to be a crazy season. I don't think as many teams will be in the top four or the top of the title races as people are making out. But I predicted where Arsenal near enough will finish last season, and it looks like I said second, and that's where we're going to finish. So,
no, you said third.
You said third.
I did say third. I said third, and then I changed it to second afterwards. But listen, third, second,
Lee, that's the maddest.
whatever.
I'll give it to you now. That's the maddest shout.
Like,
Because at the time when you said third,
I don't know.
it was
Like,
like, what are you talking about, bro?
it
Yeah.
is what it is. But yeah, listen, man. Like, you have to be critical when you're at the top.
Mm.
You have to be critical when you're at the top, because ultimately, as you two boys know more than me, over the last 5, 6, 7 years, there's such finite differences
100%,
between
bro.
finishing third and finishing second and finishing first. And
Yeah.
you have to start trimming the fat. It's almost like when you're trying to lose weight, the more you lose weight, the more you have to drop your calories. Why? Because
Yeah.
if you keep the same calories, what happens? You don't see the differences. You don't see the
Yeah.
and
And
that's
do you know what, Lee?
now that's what's going to happen.
What
we have
comes
to, we
even
have
more
to drop
so?
players like Jesus. We have to drop players like Jesus. We're going to have to drop players like
Yeah.
Eddie and Ketia. We're going to have to drop players like ESR, because ultimately they're not good enough to lead a title to our title winning team. Then that's
But Lee,
what it is.
you're going to get it even more so because we had it our first 2 times we won the league. The summer and the following season, I believe Liverpool had it as well. Is that when you do win the league, yeah, it's very easy to go, oh, we only need 1 or 2 squad players and we good to go again, right? But it's not that. Yeah, once you win it, it gets even worse because all the people behind you are trying to play catch up. And if you think so, every season without fail, everyone, if you want to be part of this top 4 or even top 6, every summer you can't be buying squad players like, and that's probably why Tottenham have completely dropped out, to be frank with you, because they did not. You have to bring in players that are competing with your best, like. And I think that's what Liverpool have done that up top. Liverpool have done that up top. I think that's exactly where they are. Luis Diaz was a perfect example of that. A player that is going to push the other 3. Yeah. You can't go and rest. And I think this summer's massive for Arsenal. If Arsenal do well this summer, they could compete again. I think. By the way, I was just going to say, with El Nani, everyone forgets that El Nani actually got injured when he was actually playing well for you first half of the season, wasn't he, when he was playing? Yeah.
And that's the thing.
I mean,
that's the thing. Sorry, go on. No, you go.
No, because I was going to kind of change the conversation a bit. So are you stick it? Was it on what we were just talking about?
No, listen, I just think ultimately, look, I think when you look at Arsenal, I think, as I said, we've had a very good season. I think we've had a very, very good season, but you can't get away from we bottled it, and you can't blame Man City. I feel like just like last season when we let Spurs get top 4. I think this season we've done exactly the same thing and actually just opened the door for Liverpool for Man City to kind of waltz in and take the league. I mean, they didn't even have to play a game before they won the league. So yeah, I think it's not good. It isn't good. A lot of the players have kind of let themselves down, and that's where I think it just feels deflated. I'm ready for the season to be absolutely done. I was ready for it to be done after the Liverpool game, after the West Ham game, after the Southampton game. So listen, man, I'm not going to be kind of celebrating anything, and that's how little it means to me now. I'm like, yeah, Champions League, great, okay, cool. What are we doing next season now, man? That's just where I'm at with it. So props to the team though, man, because they did some really good stuff and they played some really, really good football in the first half, but it's just not enough.
They did. Let me help some of these supers before we change direction. Idris, yeah, I'm not going to say that, but it is what it is. You're probably a Man United fan. Well done. Make sure you go and do well in that competition now that you're there. Zlatan says, Lee, stop waffling. Salah had purple patches last season and parts of this season. 18 months? You must have been asleep for part of the season. I must say, bro, last year, up until the AFCON, Mo Salah was the best player in the world. I think to say that he was being purple, but like he was sensational for the first half of the season. I think it was wear and tear, kind of like what you're saying about Saka. Like Salah played 3 games of extra time in the African Cup of Nations, lost the final, came back with that disappointment. That shit takes a toll on you. Do you know what I mean? So I think it was a bit unfair to say that he was being. And I was going to say something about it, but it would have drawn us into a whole argument. There's no way Salah was crap in the final. That was just a Courtois masterclass. Liverpool in general were better than Real Madrid. It was just Courtois. I don't know how Courtois was doing what he was doing.
The first final we lost against.
Oh no, but Salah got his arm ripped out in our first Real Madrid final, bro. So that was literally the most scandalous thing ever. Like Ramos, I still hate Ramos for that.
I don't know, man. I just think if you make those kind of suggestions and you talk about stuff before a game, first game, second game, you have to cash it. You have to cash it in. You
That
can't
was
come off
why he
second
was
best.
angry at them, though, Lee, because he remembers what they did to him in the first final. He only had that animosity because of that. If that hadn't happened, I don't think he would have felt that way.
Fair enough.
You know what I mean? Mansour, have you guys seen Mo's tweet? Feels like he threw his teammates under the bus because most fans won't blame him when he scored 20 plus goals, but will blame the rest of the team. No need for a post like that. Just on that, in case anybody hasn't
I haven't seen it. No.
I'll show you look now quickly because I know it's been going mad in the chat.
Has it been taken out of context?
Well, here it is. So basically, I'm totally devastated. There's absolutely no excuse for this. We had everything we needed to make it into next year's Champions League and we failed. We are Liverpool and qualifying for the Champions League is the bare minimum. I'm sorry, but it's too soon for an uplifting or optimistic post. We let you and ourselves down. I personally think that's him taking accountability. I don't think he's having a go at anyone there.
Who's he throwing under? No, I can't see that, Steve.
I don't know. I mean, you lot are the outsiders. Do you lot think he's throwing anyone under? To me, he's taking accountability in that tweet. I don't know what you lot think.
See. Where's he supposed to be talking about other people? I don't.
I kind of think
listen,
people...
bro, like, fair enough, but listen, you should have done it from the start of the season, bro. Like it is what it is.
But I like the accountability that. Good. That he's taking. Yeah, good. You know what I'm saying?
Good, but part of me is like, you know what? I hate those things. I've seen it now. Saka, Odegaard, Xhaka. Every week in the last 9 weeks, they've been like, you know what? We're gonna keep fighting, and then you put shit performances, and I don't want to see that no more. I don't want to hear that. It's almost like when Rashford was doing it last year. Every game he was playing poor, they were losing. And then you're putting out these stupid positive posts.
Now that's Bruno. Bruno does that all the time, man.
Just play better, bro. Like, I don't really want to hear all this like from Saka and like just play better. That's all I'm asking you to do. So yeah, like, but listen,
there's almost a part of me that believes that they shouldn't even have social media players because it just creates a lot of madness. But yeah, just moving on quickly because we will be wrapping up soon. Do you lot think that this new actually let me introduce this properly. Newcastle, now they've made top 4. They are essentially the new Chelsea, the new Man City. Like, you know, they've got the rich owners. They're actually richer than everybody, and
they've done it with they've done it actually, to be fair, with spending.
They really have. But now they've made Champions League unexpectedly. Well played to them. And I don't mean that patronizing. Like, well played to them. I've got love for Newcastle. I just hate they've done it at the expense of Liverpool. But now, you know, now come the who's sponsoring the team? Where's the money coming from? Have you lot heard about the new sponsorship? Yeah. So basically, they've got a new... some reports are saying 25. Some reports are saying 30 from a company called Seller. They're a Saudi Arabian-based company. And it will be one of their sponsors now. And I'm not going to lie, guys. The mad thing about it is that apparently the person who's on the board at Newcastle is on the board at this new company. Of course. Now, well, I say new company. They've been around for 30 years, historically. But, you know, nobody really knows too much about them. Because a lot of people are like, I didn't even got a website. That can happen, guys. If a website is down, That doesn't mean, you know, they've got over 1,000 employees, apparently. They've been a registered company for 30 years. That's not fake. That don't seem like anything fake to me. But it is hella suspicious if you get a sponsorship deal from a company and the guy on your board is on the board at the company. Because that's essentially sponsoring
So it's
yourself,
not,
right?
Let's be real. As a City fan, right? And people right now, remember, I am a City fan. I don't own the club. I don't know how it's run. I don't know none of that. Yeah, it's not suspicious. It's obvious. same with anything at City. It's not suspicious. It's obvious. The key is what are the rules, and if it goes to court, are the rules going to stand up? If not, like, and this is where I'll be honest as a City fan, and I totally get why you two. It will probably piss you two off, but. Before we'd even won a trophy, yeah, when we were, in fact, probably when we won the FA Cup, I always used to say that if our owners effed off and left us, and went and invested their money into another football club, and a group of fans that had never experienced a trophy in their lifetime got to experience it, I'm not mad at it, right? Because we're all football fans, yeah. And you know what? Newcastle, they've been through madness. They're a loyal bunch. So I'm not mad at them getting all of this. I'm really not mad at it at all. And look, I have to, sooner or later, they're coming for all of us, bro, including City, yeah, because their owners are richer. Their fan base is huge, yeah. So they're coming for all of us. But if you want my opinion on is it dodgy, of course, it's not even dodgy. It's obvious. Like, it's just Todd Bowley's got away with it because of loopholes. And that's the whole thing. My whole view on all of this, and I've said this consistently, and actually City's board have said it, I believe that every football club and every football owner pretty much is corrupt and does something dodgy, yeah? Most rich people in this world have done something to get their money a bit, yeah? But it's just, if you're going to be consistent with it, if you're going to investigate Newcastle, investigate every club. Don't wait till someone wins a trophy or does something to investigate them. Investigate everyone. Investigate the Premier League. The fact that they're levelling up games and making VAR give certain decisions because they got a decision earlier wrong. All of it. The whole world of football is corrupt. People shouldn't use it to fit their agendas and where their club is. Use it consistently. Use it consistently. Not just because when I moved down here, yeah, I used to get asked why I support City. No, I never used to get asked why I support City. I'd get, oh, you're a loyal bunch. The minute we won a trophy, if I told anyone I support City, I'd get how long you supported them for. And it's like, oh, so the whole narrative on my club now changes because we took a trophy off your table. So people should just be consistent. Is it dodgy, though, in answer to your question? It's obvious. It's not even dodgy.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to bring someone in before I get Lee's thingy because I know he's going to be very vocal on this one. What's going on, Lee? This was not on purpose, bro. I did not.
Don't lie, not on purpose. We planned it, bro.
but Lee, before I get Cal's take on it,
how are you? With Cowie, can I jump off because my eyes are killing me?
Yeah.
Cal, love.
No, big up for coming in with the
love.
Congrats on the league as well.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate it. We'll catch up soon.
Yeah, man.
Everyone, smash a like. Smash a like, everyone, please.
Don't win the Champions League, though, bro.
We'll talk when we win that.
Yeah, no, big up. That's for jumping on. His hay fever has been absolutely.
Yeah, you know what? My hay fever, man. Yeah. Yeah.
But no, talk to me about the Newcastle thing, Lee. I mean, how do you feel? Because you're a club like ours who are ran extremely well. You do things right. And like, how are you feeling seeing these people who are essentially taking shortcuts to get to the top?
I'll be honest with you. I think Newcastle are going to struggle next season. I'm calling it from now. I think Liverpool, you know, I think they'll, you know, could be all right and we'll probably get onto them. But I really think Newcastle will struggle. I just think that you got to have the experience of actually playing in Europe. And I think that's one thing they don't have. That's one thing that every team has above them, even dare I say Spurs. So I think that's one thing. And I think the manager's going to have more planning. And they've been so great because they've had game in and game out to just go through and move the needle a bit. But I don't know. I think that's going to be a real problem for them. And then you got to think they've done this with unity. I don't know if you've seen, after every single game, they take a damn stupid photo. Shout out to Kendall, but they take a photo in the changing room. Like, come on, like that's pathetic, bro. Like when you have to look at it,
Arsenal do get bantered when they do stuff like that. I'm not gonna lie, they do.
Yeah, but I will say though, Arsenal.
I mean, I saw certain fan base release a song after Thomas Partey signed. Still, just saying.
But celebrating a signing is different to celebrating after every single win with the manager. Like, come on, like
that is bad. I'm not gonna lie. Think about that. That is mad. Like if you're taking a team photo after every game, that's a bit mad. That's a bit mad.
Come on,
that's a small club mentality.
The cameraman busy.
Thank you. So I just think that's gonna upset the apple cart when they start bringing in some of the bigger players that they're gonna get in as well. So I think it's very precarious how they're going to look next season. And I'm not as optimistic as some other people people. But listen, ultimately, look, there's ways around it, and then listen, whatever you want to say. That's why I'm holding my sort of congratulations for all these, Man City, because listen, Grizz made a great point on the Big Six. Shout out to the Big Six on Monday, I think it was, or Tuesday. If I hear any madness where they've got 2 or 3 big allegations that have been confirmed by the Premier League, I ain't gonna congratulate Man City because they've cheated. For me, they've cheated. There you go. So listen, the same thing with Newcastle. Look, everybody's they got their little, their golden child looks out from Newcastle right now because they've done it on a relatively small budget, it seems, so far, and they've not really spent mad money, even though they spent £60 million on Anthony Gordon. I don't know why people don't mention that, but yeah, listen, ultimately, I just think that, listen, that's the way of the world right now, and it's down to, sometimes, I know, yes, it does seem to be cheating, but it's down to some of our owners to step up. It's down to the Cronkies. They've been doing it season in, season out. We spent 420 million pounds in the last 3 years. It's now down to the owners to spend the money that we need to close that gap. It's down to FSG to do what they need to do. So, yeah, I think you can look at it from both ways, but I do think, yeah, like, people are kind of giving Newcastle a little bit too much credit.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, before I come to you, Cal, I just want to say I personally believe that everyone should be allowed to spend what they have. So this isn't shade. Like I think FFP should be removed, and you should just be allowed to spend what you have. I think it's very weird that we do have this restriction.
That's dangerous, I think that's dangerous.
I know, but it stops clubs from being able to become who they want to be as well, though. Because what if a rich person wanted to take over from Barnsley or Bolton and then have a 10-year project and bring them to the Champions League? He can't now because he's got all these restrictions on how much he's allowed to spend. It is a bit unfair. It is a bit unfair. I can't lie.
I think the reason they do it, though, you'll get a lot of sports washing with that, though, Jiff. It could get really dangerous and political doing that. I hear what you're saying.
It should be made sure it's legal. Yeah. It should definitely be
what
made
you're
sure
saying
it's
is not
legal.
wrong.
Yeah.
What you're saying is not wrong because I know you're saying it from a good place, but ultimately you're gonna get a bag of rich man who just go, oh, what, I can launder money through that. All right, cool. We just go and buy that club and do what we need to do. It could get really dangerous.
It should be regulated to make sure that don't happen. Yeah,
yeah. And I think the issue that you've got is then it just becomes I know it sounds a bit elitist, but it's almost a bit like, well, where do you draw the line at? Like, where is the line drawn in anything to do with sports? Because then you're going to just start getting man that are giving man 600k to come here and bags underneath the table, and it's just too much. It's too much blind alleys and black market stuff, it seems like, and it's for me, I wouldn't want to see that. I think the way that it is now, it needs to be even tighter. I think, there's a lot of leg room for some of these clubs to be like, oh, well, yeah, you can have this amount of debt still and you can spend over this FFP in a range. Well, what the hell is the point of having an FFP then? If you're going to allow them to have a 5% over the whatever their revenue is, what's the point? You might as well just say, well, it's stupid. But yeah, look, like, ultimately, Man City, I don't understand how they made profit throughout COVID. I genuinely don't understand that. And that's not to call anybody out, but I don't physically understand how that's possible. I don't understand how they make more money than Real Madrid. I don't understand how they make more money than Liverpool. I don't understand how they make more money than even Arsenal. I don't even need to talk about Man United. I don't understand how they're making more money than some of these teams. And Newcastle, if they're going to go down that alley, then you've got to outsmart the market another way. So yeah, listen, there's many ways to do it, and Chelsea are part of the problem. Chelsea are the ones that are selling all these players and to the other teams as well. Mm-hmm. So there are many different aspects.
Chelsea started this thing.
Can I ask? Without making you guys repeat yourself and all that, have Newcastle done something today that's kind of ruffled?
Well, I mean, basically, what the rumors are right now is there's a company from Saudi Arabia, called Seller, and there's a 25 called Seller.
Seller,
yeah. I'm sure that's how you pronounce it. Yeah.
What? SELLER?
No, SELA. Seller.
LA. Yeah.
Basically, apparently I did a little due diligence on the company before I'd even bring it up. They have existed for 30 years and they do employ over 1,000 people. So they're a legit company. But
Okay.
what's dodgy is that the guy on the board at Newcastle is on the board at this company. So he's
Oh,
essentially sponsoring himself.
yeah.
So that's where it becomes a thing of like, what is the line of what we do here with these things of like,
There is no
do you get what I mean?
line. There is no
Do you
line.
get like,
No line.
so
No
I mean,
line.
how do you actually feel about that, Cal? Like hearing that, like, is this going to
You
be
know
what
how
we're
I
going to
feel.
hear? Do you know what I mean? We're going to continue to hear now. Like it's basically going to be a lot of this for Newcastle to get the revenue to be able to spend the money they have,
Yeah.
essentially.
Yeah, it's the same thing I've said consistently throughout the whole process with Man City and everyone else who do it. It's cheating by getting away with it.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's effective what it is. And again, I want to be clear when I say it's cheating, but what I can't do as well, which I maybe haven't done in previous years and stuff, I can't sit here and take credit away from Guardiola anymore. Like, I can't.
I'm not gonna allow. But this is a big moment for you to get to this point.
Yeah.
We've argued
Like, I'm gonna
about
be
this
real.
for
See,
years, bro.
this season, this season, I feel like I feel like I've been humbled and broken to an extent. Like I've got to give because again, Guardiola. If you really break down City's season, they started off terribly, were defensively leaky. Arsenal were way ahead of them and playing better football than them. They lost Cancelo in January, which everyone thought was gonna be a madness, and they changed their tactics around. They went on a run and they won the league against a very good Arsenal team. And look, Lee, as much as you know, I'm going to banter you from now until you win a league title. This is you've been excellent in the league this season. You have. There's no two ways about it. Like you have been excellent. And Man United, Liverpool, we can all banter you, but the fact of the matter is, you were the only team that ran City close this season. So we have to take that with a pinch of salt as well. But City have been phenomenal. For Pep to galvanize his boys to do it again for the third season in a row in the Premier League, not only to do that, but also in the Champions League. Bayern Munich wiped the floor with them. Real Madrid wiped the floor with them. Yeah, they've got a favourable tie in the final, but let's not act like they didn't have to bad up two bad boys to get there as well. And again, if they beat Man United in the final of the FA Cup as well, you've got to put respect on his name.
But can I just ask though,
again,
and this
I'm
is
not
a question
lying.
for the both of you, though. This is more of a question for the both of you. Pep has been very smart with what he's done in his career. He went to.
He's a villain.
Yeah, he almost is like a genius because he's
a
started
villain,
at
bro. I
Barcelona.
said this from the beginning. The guy's a villain.
He is. But I look at it and I'm saying, well, how good is he this season? Because really and truly, Liverpool were the ones that were meant to fight for him. And if you were in this position where we were, I don't think you would have lost the league. If you were 8 points clear with a game in hand, you wouldn't have lost the league. So in truth, they shouldn't really have won the league. Well, let me not say that. They could possibly would have struggled to win the league if there were other teams that were doing their job, basically. You guys have basically fumbled the bag. And this is a real opportunity that you probably missed out this season, because all season, all I've been hearing is Liverpool saying, oh, well, why did we not get to this? Why did we not get this version of Man City when we were going up against them and stuff? That's what I've been hearing all season.
Yeah,
so I just think,
we should have done our bit.
There you go. I think this is where it comes down to. It goes down to, again, Drifty, don't shoot me. I know you don't know where I live, but I'm scared that you might find out where I live. It does come down to the manager. It does come down to the owners.
I've done it now, bruv.
It comes down to a bit of everything. And I think
You done it now, Lee.
Yo, that was AI. That was AI. Yo, that was AI.
We're going down the clock road. Yeah.
I'm not. I'm more just looking at it and I'm saying, look, there are other things that I think are part of it, and I just think, honestly, I think the Pep loving that he's getting, like he bought in Haaland. Can we not forget that? He bought in Haaland, and yes, he had all of these other things that were going on, but again, he was expected to do this. We've been asking him to do this for the last 4 years. He's been fumbling the bag. He should have done this 3 seasons ago in 17-18 when he had Sane. What was it? Who did he have? Sane and Sterling, Foden, Aguero, a peak Aguero, De Bruyne. All it, this is new to him. He should have been doing this. He should have been done doing this from ages ago. So for me, look, I don't know. I don't know how much loving I can give him. Fair play. Look,
I'll say so. You don't rate him that
No,
highly.
hold on. Wait 1 sec, Jim. Lee's turned into a Liverpool fan now. Look at the bitterness in him,
man.
bro. I love it.
You know what it is. You know
One
what it is. For
title
me,
race. Look how much you hate them, bro.
no. You know what? I don't necessarily.
Everyone about City called us.
I don't hate Liverpool. I don't hate Man City. I don't really hate them as much as people gonna go on about it. I'm more annoyed that Man City fans don't care that there's possible cheating going on. That's all I care about. Yo, listen, man. Those are old school takes. We're in the remix, man. We're in the remix now, bro. But yeah. Listen, man. I don't know, man. I just think that, for me, the fact that no Man City fan takes any accountability, and they almost feel like, well, I don't care, and they try and really turn a blind eye to everything. That's what annoys me. Just own it. Say, do you know what? It does look quite dodgy. It does look quite, and just own it. I don't think I would have any issue if they owned it. But listen, man, it is what it is, man. Like Liverpool, Man City, all of these big clubs now, they're gonna have to step their game up. If they don't, then we're gonna keep having the same old rhetoric with Man City apparently being this world-class team, because they haven't been all season. It's unfair. Football, sometimes you don't get what you deserve, but we've been, over the course of the season, I'd probably say the better team. We played fantastic football, but we've let ourselves down, unfortunately. So yeah, it is what it is, man. It is what it is.
I mean, I'm like I said, I'm glad to see Cal is finally seeing the light. I've been trying to show him about Pep. I mean, you're right, though, Lee. We will have to call them Gatlin FC if these charges come through, because it's a whole load of doping. So
that's a sick one, Juve.
So wait, Jeffy, let me ask you. You know what? I know you love Klopp, and I think the thing you love about Klopp, I mean, I don't want to speak for you, but I think one of the things you love about Klopp is the fact that he's not had unlimited amounts of money, and he's built players, and he loves to kind of, build young players. That sounds a bit mad, but he likes to build players up from young and, experiment and do all the things that he's doing and he's done from
he makes
forward.
Stars. He makes stars.
And he's sort of a bit like Wenger. So what would be your story? Like, what would be so special about what you've done to outdo Man City if you had unlimited amounts of money and you had this whole kind of thing you said where there should be no FFP and all these things? Because if there wasn't, and he had Kimmich and Lewandowski and all these players at Liverpool, would you, like, the way you've done it is what makes it so special for you, right? Like, you can prop your manager to a level where he's maybe on the same level as Pep because of what he's done. So you wouldn't have that story if you had all the money.
No, that is true. And that is one of the things that I love about Klopp. And that's why I keep saying to people that it's a bit unfair that they keep throwing these things at him about being loyal, because I think loyalty is necessary in football, whether it be the fan base being loyal to their club, whether it's the club being loyal to players being loyal to the club. Like, whichever way, there has to be some level of loyalty. Yeah, maybe he's taking it too far, but I like to add context to it. These players were good last year. It's hindsight now where we're looking at how bad it is. So it's very easy to start throwing, and when you're a man who's used to your best players walking away, when you see people who are loyal, you're going to be more like, oh, okay. Like, you know what I mean? You're going to ride out with me. Boom. All right, I'll stand by you more. He's used to Goetze, Lewandowski, Kagawa, all these men just ducking out and leaving him, and he's got to pick up the pieces. So I don't really think it's fair to be angry at him for having that. And again, you're right. If we had all the money, it probably wouldn't be as sweet. I do love that when we won the Champions League in 2005, we were the underdog. We shouldn't have done it. And it made the story better. We beat arguably one of the greatest club teams in history. And it shouldn't have happened. It wasn't allowed. If that 3-0 comeback happens and we're playing against Bolton in the final, everyone would have been like, you got away with one because you nearly lost the game you shouldn't have. But it made it great because AC Milan were 10 times better than us. And we had no right to even be in the game with them. So I agree with you. I just think it's unfair to put Guardiola down, even though there are a lot of things in his favor, because the man, whether he's got the money or not, the man plays the best football I've ever seen in my life. He just does. If you go and look at his Barcelona team, and now you look at some of the City teams he's created, he just plays the best football I've ever. He makes football the way it was meant to be, in my opinion. Like if you said to me, what is the picture of what football should be? I will say the way Pep Guardiola plays football is the picture of the way football should be. So that's why I've always had respect. And he does improve players, you know. He takes great players and makes them even greater. No one thought Lahm could play centre midfield. Pep Guardiola did that. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, there's
but you got to say, look, like right now, I'm last in about 15 minutes. But if you gave me Viagra, I'm going all night. And Pep's got the same stuff. So, like, I ain't gonna be out here like giving him too much with loving. Real talk. I ain't gonna give him too much loving because he's got the best players and the most money, bro. Like he's got the most money, bro. Like he can go there's no one deep in it. He actually in a pivotal point in the season when they weren't playing well, when they didn't have the whole functionality of their defense, he got rid of, dare I say, one of the best left backs in the world. There you go. Yeah, like he got rid of Cancelo, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm not bothered." Like this is mad when you think about it. You can throw away a guy who's so pivotal to your team, and it's almost a bit like it almost comes down to a thing where, do you know what? I don't even really need to do tactics anymore because I've got the best players out there. I throw them out there, and they can kind of like work together and do this. It almost, and I don't know if you saw the quote from, I think it was what's the keeper's name? Not Edison. No, it is Edison. Edison said, I think it was a game that they played recently where Pep was halfway through the week and he had one tactic, and then the next couple of days he changed it and they still won, and they were, they weren't surprised. And I think it's down to sometimes you just got the best players and they do magic. They do have this thing where they can just. But listen, man, I'm gonna sound like a hater, but yeah, listen, it is what it is.
I mean, everyone's allowed their opinion. I respect it. I hear what you're saying about the money thing, but sometimes it's harder to motivate the big boys. Sometimes if you've got the big boys, they can get complacent, and it's, what I mean? Like, you've got to keep them. Remember, these players are scared of Pep. Like, we've got people like De Bruyne, who's arguably the best player in the world, and he's shook.
De Bruyne ain't. He's not. No, De Bruyne ain't, bro. I'm telling you.
No, I think they all are, Cal. I think they all are, bro.
Didn't you see when De Bruyne told him to shut up on the touch? Like when he was on the pitch?
No, I haven't. No, I didn't.
Brother, I'm telling you, I don't know who De Bruyne has been hanging around this season. De Bruyne's on the roads, bro. Remember I told you, yeah? De Bruyne's on the road. When I saw him push Arteta and then look back as in to say, brother, I do my thing.
Yeah.
When Pep was shouting him in the Real Madrid game and he looked back at him and told him to shut up twice, I'm telling you, De Bruyne is on stuff.
Did he really?
He said it to him twice, but he said, shut up.
I don't even condone that, though. You can't be telling your manager to shut up.
This is what I'm saying,
What's
bro.
going on, bro?
Yeah. Bro, for him to push his ex-assistant manager and tell his current manager to shut up, I'm telling you, De Bruyne is on the roads, bro.
Yeah.
De Bruyne is moving weight, bro.
Listen, man, when you come to England, bro, you start listening to a bit of Stormzy and Jay Huss. Life changes, bro. Life changes, man. Life changes.
Oh shit! All right. Yeah, that's mad. I'm not gonna lie. That is actually bad, though. If he really did that, then that's bad. I think no, but you see, I think Guardiola might have done what some of those, like what certain black parents do, where people think they've got away with it in public, but when you get home. When you get home, know what happens when you get home, bro.
I'm in my 30s. I guarantee you, if I told my mom to shut up at my big age now, you'll never see me on Kopish again, bro.
I swear to you, Drifty, I was just about to say, where do you find one of them black parents? I wish I had one of them, bro. I ain't gonna lie, bro.
But them assassin sniper ones that they give you the look, and then when you get home, that's when you get your ass.
The moment I go, I'm done.
No, of course there's both types. But you lot don't know. I had loads of people. Like, even my dad was one of them. Like, I would get the look that I know at home I'm getting murdered.
No, but you wouldn't tell your dad to shut up out on
the street. Because I know there's repercussions,
exactly, bro.
No, but maybe he lost himself in the moment. Maybe
Brother,
Kevin
we
lost
never
himself
lost
in the
ourselves
moment,
once, bro.
No, I did. One time I came home an hour and a half late. I lost myself. I
Bro.
did.
Drift,
What?
you're not deep in, bro.
Any one of those black parents, let me know so I can sign up, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro.
No, I had a
Any
couple
one of them-
bridgings who had them type of black person as well. Like you got the look in public, and when you got home, that was when you got your ass beat.
But was it them telling them to shut up?
No,
though,
it wasn't, but it was something out of
Oh,
order
right.
that they shouldn't have been doing, though. But it
Yes,
wasn't
but
shut
not-
your mouth. It
But not
definitely
probably
wasn't shut your
directly
mouth.
to the parent. No, it's like Steve. Let's say, for example, Stevie's out and he does something silly. I'll give him a look, and then when he gets home, I'm gonna really lay into him. But you see, if he told me to shut up,
Yeah, it's
in
mad.
front of
Yeah, no, you're
people,
right. You're right. It wasn't a
Bro.
direct disrespect to the
It's
parent.
mad,
It was
bro.
just doing something
It's
naughty.
mad.
So yeah, I get
Yeah.
your point. Yeah, for real. Yeah, you're right.
Can't
Maybe
listen,
I
but
wouldn't
as I
get
said,
punched.
any one of them, boy.
Yeah.
I get
Maybe
them
I would have
adoption
got.
papers ready.
No, you're right. If I told my dad to shut up, I definitely would have
What?
got on site. Yeah. That is true. That is true.
Madness.
like Drift. I
Um,
know you want to wrap up the show. Have you seen Salah's tweet?
We spoke about it already. Yeah.
you
We
have?
have.
Mm.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
it's gonna be a rough summer, Drifty.
what do you believe that he wants to go?
Bro? That don't sound good to me, bro.
Nah. We spoke about it already. I don't. Lee, what did you think? You're an outsider. How did you look at it?
I'll be honest. I think it makes it worse because of the timing. I don't think it was great. I don't think it was great. I'll be honest with you. I don't think it was great. But I do understand the accountability thing. 100% cool. Listen, I understand all of that stuff, but I don't understand why you waited a minute. As I said, you were part of the reason, my guy. Yeah, I know you scored 40, 30 goals or whatever it is, but you weren't great. And you need to just, sometimes just hold it down a bit. And I don't know, man. I think Liverpool seem to be heading in the right direction. I think, they've brought a couple of good players in, but this could be a needle mover. This could be something which, really throws a cat amongst the pigeons. So I don't know. We're going to see. But
Well, I
I
hope
don't know. I
that
don't
cat
mind a
gets
little bit
dashed
of
into
madness
the
going up in
FSG.
Liverpool. I don't mind it. It's still, I like it.
I need that cat to be thrown into the FSG boardroom because they're the pigeons, bruv. Do you get what I'm saying, bruv? Real talk, they're the pigeons,
I want a
bruv.
lion dashed in there, Drift. I want a
Like
lion.
you see
dashed in
what
there, bro.
Lee might be the best person to speak to about this because he's been through this. When you have an owner that doesn't really seem to care enough to do what needs to be done financially, and then you fall to a point where you can see your finances being hurt, and then that's the only time when the owner really starts to seem like he's putting in to get back to where he knows he needs to be, and you're back there now. That's what I think I need of FSG. I think I need the pocket to get hit for them to realize they have to make sure that they're doing what's necessary to maintain the top, because they've taken it for granted. They've taken advantage of Klopp, and now here we are.
It's a little bit different with the Cronkies because the Cronkies didn't have full ownership until 2018. So they decided basically we're not throwing all of our money and backing into this team until we had full ownership. Because I don't know if you remember, Usmanov was, he was trying to take full control of it, and he didn't want to give it up. So I think it's a little bit different with FSG because FSG have always shown they're not putting any money into the club until, well, never. They just don't want to do it. So I don't know. I just think it's hard because you guys have been living off this. Yeah, we sell to buy, we do this, we do that. So how do you want it now? Where do you guys want to go with it?
There's nothing left to sell, bro.
No, I think you do. I think you've got players.
There's nothing left to sell, bro.
Listen, I'm gonna say some stuff.
Sound like
People are
Ian
gonna come
Beale.
at me. People are gonna, but I think certain players need to, get their bags packed, and I think you can make some money. And also, just want to start up. Kadima, no one said about hitting kids, and I'm a teacher. I don't condone that. So please do not, run that rhetoric. It's crazy, bro. Like I just want to, but anyway, I just think, sometimes I think you need to really look what you've got in the cupboard and, start shifting players out. If Salah's the person that you need to sell, then it is what it is.
Well, I mean,
One thing I do want to say, and I don't want to get into a conversation with it, is Saka's on that Salah money now. I want to see how the standards are.
I have said this. Drifty, did I not say this?
Yeah, we spoke about it earlier in the
Oh,
show. Yeah.
cool. My bad. My bad.
You know what? Yeah? This is what I said. You know what? I'm so glad this is the
My bad.
penultimate one. You know, like, next season I can't take this, bro. I can't do it, bro. I can't do it, bro. You know, I was like, you know what? Today I was like, you know what? Yes, Man United, just get more goals because this whole Europa League thing for Liverpool. But you know, it's a blessing in disguise. Thank you, Lord. Thank you.
But you know what? I'm all right with the Europa League. Honestly, like I think Liverpool fans wanting to be in the Champions League is completely acceptable and understandable. That is the level that we are as a club. But I think Europa League ain't the worst thing in the world. I think it's a competition we should be winning. And if we have ambitious owners, we should be doing what Arsenal and Man United have done in the Europa League and still get good players and not let it affect you. In the day and age we live in now, you shouldn't really have any excuses for not signing big players in the Europa League. You shouldn't. I've watched all big clubs, so all big players go to Arsenal and go to Man United in the last 5-6 years. Aubameyang, Pogba, Ibrahimovic, all these players, they all went to these clubs in the Europa League. It isn't really an excuse to not be able to get your signings over the line. If you're in the Europa League, it just isn't. It just ain't. It's all about pushing the needle and making sure you get it done. And the Europa League song bangs. So at least I get to hear it.
Thursday nights.
I'm telling
Are
you,
you
it's
rolling?
Europa night. I am there for it, bro. Hey, Lee, I'm all here for it, bro. I'm here for it, bro. I'm telling you, bro.
You man are gonna have to start changing your theme tune, the whole thing on a Thursday. You know, your preview is none of that Kop-Ish thing. It's that and you got a remix. You got to put a little dub plate on it. Yeah, it's nice. That is gonna.
It is what it is. It is what it is, man.
And I can't wait because I'm going to see Callum. He's going to be like, yeah, I'm just here for another preview, man.
I'm gonna be honest, bro. I ain't happy for Europa at all. I'm not.
I'm not.
I'll be real with you. I think the blessing that comes from it is you ain't got to worry about it until February, really and truly, because you're going to finish top of the group. You can play players like Harvey Elliott, who's crap. He can get more money.
Whoa.
You can play the Pasecic and you know all these other kind of younger players. And listen, no one's going to give credit, but that's how Saka made his name. That's how Reece Nelson made his name. That's how all of these ESR. That's how he made his name.
Harry Kane made his name.
That's how Harry Kane made his name. So I think there are some positives whether you play these players and then they can be easily sold, or you play these players and they can be more acclimatized to your team. The likes of Gakpo can, I think he's a very good player. I've been saying it for the longest time now. Yeah. But these players they can, you know, get more game time. They can feel more acclimatized, and you know, I think there are some real positives because next season, I think everybody's putting Liverpool in a position where they're going to be the closest challengers to Man City. So you guys are going to have the pressure on you because no one's giving Arsenal any credit. No one's giving Newcastle. No one's giving Man United any credit for next season because apparently this is going to be a fluke season. So you guys are going to have the old adage thing where you have to step up. So hopefully you use that. Hopefully you use it, man.
Kelleher will be staying hopefully now. There are some positives.
Yeah,
there are definitely some positives. But you know,
all of these things, man. I just think, sometimes you got to look at it like that.
We do. All right, let me just hit up this last super before we wrap up.
I'll leave it there, but I'm disgusted we're going to be playing.
I know. But during the summer, we'll touch on it a lot more. I'm just going to be sending Carl bare voice notes with the theme tune playing until he gets on board. Like,
I'm grieving, bro. I'm grieving from this, bro.
Listen, you've won it 6 times.
People don't realize this messes up more than just like Liverpool. This is my life, bro. I work in the office on a Thursday. That's the evening I pick up my kids for my mum's as well. But what am I going to tell Mumsy now? What am I going to tell her now? Mum, I'm going to have to go home, record.
I mean, to be fair,
Liverpool are playing Uzbekistan tonight.
Stevie and Robbie are going to be a year older, so I'm sure you're going to just start making them walk home now. I'm sure, bro. Man had him doing dishes at like 2 years old, so wild time, bro.
I know, you know what? That's a shout. Still, that's a shout. I've heard rumors that Stevie already knows how to use the Uber bro.
What?
It's a madness,
Well,
bro.
hold on. No, let's calm down. No, we know kind of we put him in the A to Z kind of vibe. You know the way there, bro. We know the way there.
Yeah, he ain't catching Uber, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
Man's gonna turn into Squidly. Man's gonna be like, all right, bicycle. Stevie!
Yo, and you know what? The joke to it, Robbie's gonna be in the front basket, and he's gonna be like, yo. Oh god!
Oh my
God! Man's gonna be bringing that bell, bro, and Robbie's gonna be like, "Yo, left."
Oh man! Imagine him getting home when we just lost the Europa League. Stevie's gonna get home when we just lost the Europa League game, and he's gonna be like, "Dad, fully such a pussy clot." You know it?
No. Don't be a joke because Robbie and Steve will come home a minute later and be like, "You know what? I'm gonna deal with you after the game. Yeah, it's too funny, bro.
Oh no,
Nice.
big on you,
fuck
buddy. Well
it,
done,
no.
still.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, that one. Yeah, Lee got me with that one still. On that note, H says, black parents ain't no joke. I once got whooped for not accepting my mom's apology.
Oh, bro, that is too funny, bro. That is too
Oh
funny.
my days.
That's too funny.
Oh man, we've all been there. And the apology is so swift as well. It's not even meant. It's not even. In fact, H, you're actually good. It's actually good you got an apology. If I'm being
I was gonna
completely honest with you.
say, bro.
Yeah, I don't really know how many apologies I've ever gotten, bro. You know what I mean? But nah, big up yourself.
Funny, man.
Oh man, that's a great way to end the show. Still,
Yeah,
that was
yeah.
funny, man.
Yeah.
But
Thursday nights. Europa nights.
I'm ready for it, bro.
Oh,
I'm ready
mm.
for it, man. I'm ready for it, man. It is what it is. Full preseason this year. Everybody gets a proper rest. There's no disruption during the summer. We come back, squad. You know, I'm ready for it, man. If we're in no Europe,
So you said that Klopp needs to win
more
it. What, if he doesn't win it, then where do you go with that?
Depending on what context is to where we are in the league and what's happening. No, let me finish. Let me land. Depending on what context there is to the season, how it pans out, if we don't win the Europa League, it's 100% a failure. It's 100% a failure. Liverpool should be winning the
You
Europa
said,
League.
huh?
We should
I
be
can
winning
hear
the
it,
Europa
but
League.
I can't see. Barely.
We should be winning it. We should be winning it. And again, the context is what teams drop out of the Champions League, all of that kind of stuff. But we should be winning the Europa League. If we're in the Europa League, we should be winning the Europa League. 100%.
But this season,
Top
Barcelona
squad, baby. NFC. Hold it.
Barcelona dropped out. Quite a few teams. Juventus, they dropped out, and everybody still said Arsenal should be winning it. So if you're Liverpool and you're going for a title next season, even if you have a top team that drops out, you should be beating them in the Europa League final. Or
Yeah, of course.
So it doesn't really matter because you're probably one of the top 3-4 best teams in the world right now. I mean, give you credit, probably.
Well, not right now,
best.
but based on the last 2 years, yeah.
Yes, yeah. Other than Real Madrid, Man City, give or take, I don't know, like who else is there up there. So even if any of those teams below you, you should be beating them, right?
I mean, yeah, Clark's got a good point. LSU drop in, and then we got to play you in the Europa League.
Oh, so you scared of Arsenal now, yeah?
No, but that would be a game that could go either way, right? It is a game that could go either way.
But you're meant to be the better team, though, right?
If it's in Europe, we should be whacking Arsenal up, man.
There you go, right?
Yeah, historically, of course. But
Okay.
I'm just saying, you know.
I'm gonna be real. You know why? Do you know why I'm not on board with Europa? The pressure to win the Champions League isn't on Liverpool. It's something that we want and we know we can achieve. You see the pressure now. We are expected to win Europa. I don't know if the players and the manager are on board with that expectation.
I do.
And if we don't win it, I think there'll be uproar in the community.
We've got a lot of winners in our team. I think they can handle the pressure of trying to win the Europa League.
And
Not
listen,
saying they
don't
can't
do
handle
what
the
Arsenal
pressure
did.
if they take the
Don't do what
competition
Arsenal did and
seriously.
come out of every cup and don't win nothing.
No,
Don't do-
none of that.
don't do
None
that.
of that. None of that.
Don't do
The
that.
only
Don't
way
do
I'll be satisfied with losing the Europa League or the FA Cup is if Klopp's actually like a real G and actually does field the same team and doesn't do that, well, I'm just going to bring in some of the big boys just because I'd respect that. Like if he plays Kelleher in goal every game, no matter what, even in the final, if he's playing the likes of like the backup centre backs and all that, if he sticks with that, then and we went out, then I'll be like, do you know what? I got to rate him because he actually let these guys play what they earn. But if he brings the big boys in and we lose, I'll have a big problem with it.
But is that good management though? Is that good management?
Yeah, I believe it is.
Carefully.
I believe it is. No, I'm not going to go off on one because Lee, what you got to remember, and this is what one thing I did respect about Wenger, even though people say it was dumb to do it, Wenger let the players play who earned the right to be there. And sometimes it is very arseholish of a manager to have a squad of players who get you there and then just dump them all out and then bring in the other guys. And those guys don't get to play in the game that they earn. You have to look at it both ways.
It's about winning, though, right?
It is about winning, but you have to look at it both ways. I was actually upset that Minamino didn't play in the final after he was the reason we were there.
Okay, let me get you this.
You have to let a player
get you this
play.
Though. Let me get you
got
this.
You to where you are.
Was you more upset that Minamino didn't play the final, or was you more happier that you won it?
I was happier we won it.
Okay,
but I believe we could have won it with Minamino playing, though. That's the only point I made.
Come on, nah.
Of course we could have. Minamino was brilliant that year in the tournament. I think Minamino could have started that game. I do.
But if you hadn't had won it and he started, it's almost that what if. Whereas with you, the players you played with, you was more of a guarantee that you won the game, which you eventually did on penalties. But I don't know, man. I wouldn't take that risk. I'll be honest, especially a team like Arsenal who haven't won as much. I wouldn't, but I don't know.
No,
maybe.
I do get it. I understand why, but I just think it's a little bit of a liberty when a player or a group of players play well and then just get dropped out because.
So what about if you don't win the Premier League? You don't win the FA Cup because you get dumped out, and you don't win the Carabao Cup, and the last game is the Europa League. Are you still going to expect Harvey Elliott to play?
But that'll be a little bit different because it'll be desperate then. Like it'll be a bit of a desperate situation then where you don't really have the luxury of maybe thinking about people's feelings or whatever. But if we're still doing really well in the Premier League, we're in the semi-final of an FA Cup, and then he played the same team in the semi-final Europa League that got us all the way there. I'll be like, do you know what? Fair play to him. Fair play to him, because we're talking about squad players that I think would be good enough. Think about it. Our front line would probably be like Nunes, maybe Diaz
Jota,
and no, I think Jota will start. I think Jota will start next year. But but you get my point. Like it will be like good players that you're like, these men should be able to still win this game. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. It depends which way you look at it, and it can go both ways. It can go both ways. But
boy, the pressure's on my mate Kloppy. The pressure's on.
No, but to be fair, the pressure's on you as well, bro.
No,
listen. The pressure's on you.
I feel like I'm being very objective to Arteta, and I've said, look, I love the guy, but you also have to start winning. And I think the pressure's on Klopp, man. The pressure's on Klopp. The pressure's there for him. And listen, as I said, people are birthing you guys to be the team to, go against Man City next season. I don't know if you guys believe that, but you've got that pressure, and you can't keep having these weird seasons where you kind of go off the boil and then don't win. You're Liverpool, so how many more times
we'll have the conversation about what our achievements should be next season on August the 10th, when we're getting ready for the start of the season and we know how much money FSG let Klopp have. That's when we'll know. Joe, actually, I know we're dragging this out now, but just quickly, guys, how are you not feeling about Man United all of a sudden becoming favourites over Arsenal and Liverpool for Mount? That's a mad one, isn't it? Where the hell did that come from today?
Listen, let them take him.
Right with it.
Yeah, bro, let them take him, man. I don't know. That's not the kind of footballer I want at my club. I'll be honest with you.
I think he'd do really well for Liverpool and Arsenal, if I'm being honest. Man United more, I don't really see how he fits in, but
yeah,
I think
not our issue, bro.
I don't really get what Mount does though.
He's very good tactically. He's very good at pressing, and he's a goal scoring midfielder. He under the right management, I think he actually would be a brilliant player for whoever gets him.
I just think he's a real workhorse, but I don't see listen, I don't rate ESR like that, so I don't know. Maybe I'm not that high up on those kind of players, but I don't know. I don't think you're missing out on anything. I think you get McAllister, absolute sourcing. I think that's a player that you should be going for. I think he can go up tenfold in terms of levels, but I don't think you need to be worrying about players at Mount. I think you need to get a few more players in the midfield and maybe I don't know, centre back.
Mount would play midfield for us, bro. That's the point I'm making.
Yeah, better. I think you're gonna get McAllister. It looks like, and I think some other players. I don't know who you use out there. I know you was linked to the Turan brother.
Lies right there.
I don't know, man.
Some buzzer lies right.
But listen, I'm telling you, you lot should be going for Maddison, man. I think Maddison will suit you lot well. I think Sam Maddison.
Yeah, but we got Naby and Ox leaving who couldn't stay off the treatment table, so I'm worried if we bring in another guy who's just of that same ilk, you know. But
well, look, when you go to different clubs, certain things happen in it. Like sometimes certain players they get injured, they don't get injured. So I think you got to look at that and just take every player for what it is. Just the same way how I always say, take every season for what it is. You can't look at this season and say Liverpool are going to be as bad. You can't look at Arsenal and going to say they're going to be as good. So I think you got to look at certain clubs and certain players and say, look, maybe it just didn't work out for him there. Maybe, I don't know, like whatever it is, maybe the grass was weird in that club and the way they train and whatever, I don't know. So I think Maddison is someone who I think you should really be looking at. I think Maddison, he goes up another level with McAllister, and then get a DM and you're good. I think you're good, very good, because the Garte's going a PhD in it.
Yeah, because we fumbled the bag again. This is my point. The man's got a buyout clause. You don't even have to talk. You just put the money down.
He don't want a DM. Klopp don't want a DM, bro.
All right, we'll go down that road. And not now, Cal. Not now.
But don't you think though,
we'll do
right?
this
like,
another day.
The fact that you've only been linked to like Bellingham, you've been linked to Bellingham, the Turam guy. I can't remember his name. The French brother.
Talk the ting, bro.
No, but don't you find it a bit weird though? That's what I'm asking you, Drift.
I think there's a possibility that if he doesn't buy a DM, it's because he will actually play Trent there.
DM. Oh.
Because I think we're going to do the pivot. I think it's going to be the 3-2, the 3-2-2-3, or the 3-2-5, or whatever you want. And I think there'll be somebody next to Trent in the pivot. I do. I think he's going to look at either Bajcetic or Flacco playing next to Trent with that 2 in midfield.
But I tell you why that's scary though, because listen, you did well in those 7 games against all the teams you beat, or 6 games. No, it was 7 games. But that Aston Villa game, that was one game where you got caught out and you couldn't fix that. So don't you think that teams are going to start clocking on to what's been going on, and you're going to need to find another way to do things? So I don't know if that's the avenue you should go.
At the beginning.
I don't know.
We're at the beginning of the evolution, and in the first half we just played crap. Because in the second half we battered Villa. The first half we were just crap. I don't know what was wrong with them, but I don't know, man. I don't know. We'll see.
No, don't be putting him DM though, please. No, please.
No, but in a pivot though, Lee, we go to 3 at the back, and then there's a pivot in front, and they're basically just protectors. And I think that's how he looks at Trent conducting in that pivot with Bajcetic or Flacco, and then the 3 at the back. That's what I think he's gonna do, and that's why he's thinking he doesn't necessarily need to get another. But then again, we might go and get a DM. Who knows? Who knows? The summer ain't even here yet, boys. Let's wait and see what happens, innit? Nazim says, big up Drift, Cal, and Lee. Big up yourself, Nazim.
Yeah, bro. I knew I shouldn't have jumped on this show, bro.
Yeah, listen, bro. I'm about to go and commit the maddest murder, robbery, everything, because I know Drifty, you're the best lawyer that any man can get. Bro. You, bro. And I'm admitting it on camera. I'm about to go rob a bank because I know Drifty's going to defend me. So, listen. Take it as what you want, man. Take it as what you want. Bro.
And on that note, big up everyone. Make sure you go and follow Lee as well. Link is in the description. Man. You know what I'm saying? Love as always, Lee, for jumping on. Big up Daps as well, who was feeling a bit unwell, but he made sure he jumped in. Big up everyone else. Make sure you smash that like button on the way out, guys. Subscribe if you're new, and we will catch you tomorrow for the call-in show, usual time, people. Until then, big up everyone, man. Peace!